and welcome to your Reiki session. I hope you're doing as well as possible. You join me in this beautiful, magical woodland for a session today that's all about releasing weight. So this can be mental weight, emotional weight, and physical weight. So if you are someone who is triggered by the topic of weight loss, maybe skip this one and I will see you in our next session. I don't want you to be receiving any content that is not in alignment with what you need, that's not in support of where you are right now in your journey. So I'm sending you love and I'll see you in the next one. So for this session, I'm not a nutritionist, a dietitian. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert in any way in this field. However, I am a Reiki practitioner. I love focusing on energetic healing of all kinds. And so I'm coming at it from the perspective of alignment, aligning these different aspects. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. BetterHelp offers online counseling by a network of over 20,000 licensed therapists, and it's available worldwide. They match you with your own licensed professional by assessing your individual needs, and they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed, so you find the perfect fit for you, and you can log in at any time to send a message directly to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Also, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so you'll be able to receive the help you need in the most comfortable way for you. To top it all off, it's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available if needed. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/Reiki with Anna. That's better HELP. And join the over 2 million people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. You deserve to prioritize your mental health this year. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Reiki with Anna, or use the link in the description box. BetterHelp is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. If you are in a crisis, I've included a link below to a mental health crisis center. Thanks again, BetterHelp. Now back to our session. I'm going to begin by just putting a little bit of cream on my hands, just doing some care here for myself. Hopefully you can take a moment to care for yourself here. When it comes to this kind of release and any kind of health goal or journey or anything like that, I think the mental aspect of it is enormously important. Mindset can just be so powerful. So just bearing that in mind while we are doing this session. But again, this is about releasing any burden, releasing anything that is not serving you. I don't want to distract you. I fell on the ice and got a bruise on my bum and on my arm, so I hope that's not too distracting. This is about releasing any burdens that come up for you. Releasing any weight, anything you're holding on to. I find that when we release, we open ourselves up and we begin to allow. So I'm going to begin by doing a little bit of cleansing. We're going to use some selenite to cleanse your energy field. So I'm using 2 selenite wands here. And we're just moving through and very gently purifying the aura. How are you feeling today? Okay, good. So I think when we're engaging in any kind of self-development, and you'll know this if you've been here for any amount of time, that I think it's incredibly important to find a balance between that self-development and self-acceptance and self-love. So an example of this from a weight loss perspective, or that getting, physical health perspective would be, I want to move my body and eat a little bit better in order to, because I love my body, not because I hate it. That's a very common phrase. We hear that a lot. But I think it's really important to have a foundation of love when we're doing this work. When we're doing any kind of self-development work. Just coming at this from a perspective of love, deep love for yourself. Sometimes that can feel really unattainable, particularly whatever it is that we're moving through, particularly if there's shame connected to it. It can feel like self-love and even self-acceptance is so unattainable, so far away, so distant from your experience. And that's why I think having a parallel practice of self-love, that's sort of just a different form of training. You're training, you're showing up for yourself to practice that self-love. And I'll give you a couple of examples of this while I continue to cleanse here. The selenite just kind of scoops that energy up. It doesn't hold it. It scoops that energy up and it releases. It doesn't hold on to that self-cleansing, which is beautiful for this kind of clearing work. And it can help us clear any of these preconceived notions. A lot of this is going to be about rewriting our narratives about ourselves. But my example, when it comes to balancing that self-love with self-development, is to, when you're doing any kind of, if it's about your physical health, whether that's weight loss, or you're maybe trying to get stronger, or you're just trying to improve your overall health, whatever that is, that at the same time, I would really suggest that you do as many things as you can to really emphasize how beautiful you feel in your body right now. So engaging in some maybe sexual dancing, which might sound kind of funny and it might feel kind of funny for a little bit, but just engaging in some kind of just dancing that makes you feel sexy, anything that can make you feel beautiful exactly as you are, so that you're really clear about the fact that you're not releasing something that you love, something that's at your core. That you're really clear about why you want to release something. And when it comes to weight loss or getting physically healthy, it's so important, I think, to love ourselves where we are in that journey. Really just feel ourselves and feel our body wherever we are, which is really hard, and which is why I think it's really important to practice it, to really practice that love. Okay. Good, 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 good. Now I'm going to do a little bit of more clearing. And I'm going to use some sage. This is an abalone shell that my Nana had. And I use it as my sacred ashtray. I inherited it when she passed. Actually, it wasn't when she passed. It was when we moved her into a care home. She was going to get rid of everything. She said, if you can use anything, please have it. So, whenever I use it, I think about her. She's such a lovely woman. So supportive. So we're just going to be doing a little bit of further clearing, and I'm sure you could probably guess that since this session is all about release that we're going to do a focus on clearing. Lots of cleansing here, purifying your energy. And this is to be honest with you, this is kind of a vulnerable video for me to make, as you can imagine, because I'm not an expert in this in any way. And I just want to make sure that you are receiving the kind of care and support and love, and because it can be a really challenging, very triggering subject. So I just want to make sure that you feel supported, but also empowered. It's another balance here on this channel that I like to try and reach, is that balance between validating your experience and sending you love, but also empowering you that if you do want to change your life, that you have the ability to do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can. I know you can. So I have recently lost weight, and that and the energetic aspect here of connecting certain kinds of release with this allowance, those are my only credentials for this session. And I probably won't get into too much about how I did it or anything like that in this session, unless you're interested. If you're interested, maybe I'll make another session, but that might not be super interesting. But I would like to share something that was incredibly helpful for me, and that it was a realization that was just enormously impactful and empowering for me. And I think it has changed my life forever, this discovery. And so I wanted to share that. So just clearing, and releasing. Clearing and releasing. Is there anything about this subject that you feel like you have certainty on, that maybe you want to challenge a little bit? A narrative that I want to start rewriting for you, that you'd like to offer up to be rewritten? Anything that has to do with I'm not or I can't, I'd like to just maybe start to parse through that. Maybe release not the narrative yet, but maybe just release your certainty about the narrative. Release the hooks that are keeping you latched to that narrative. I'm not athletic, I'm not fit, I'm not coordinated, whatever it might be. Or with those, any mental weight that you're holding on to, mental obligations, emotional obligations that you might have. A narrative about what it might mean if you do release something or someone, a relationship, Or if you release a narrative that says, I'm the one who always helps everybody, that's what I do. If you maybe just start to unlatch from that just a little bit. And that doesn't mean that you'll never help anyone, of course not. It just means that we can have a balance. If you're feeling, I've had a conversation with some of you who have said, I always give and I feel like I never get anything back and I never have time for myself. So maybe instead of I always give, like at this phase in my life or up until now, I've always given everything at the expense of my own mental, emotional, and physical health. Maybe just reshaping that narrative a little bit. Just to open it up. Maybe you'll stay the exact same, but maybe if you start to release the certainty on some things or release that hook, that attachment to certain narratives, maybe we're opening up some possibilities to do things a little bit differently. Maybe. And the other thing is that if there's a narrative that is keeping you stuck because you are afraid of what you might lose if you do release, well, if I release this, then I'll lose part of my identity. Whether that's, again, let's use this example, someone who helps. I'm someone who always shows up for other people. I prioritize other people's comfort over my own wants and needs. That, maybe I'll lose that sense that connection makes me feel like a good person, and maybe then I'm not a good person anymore. That we're afraid of what we might lose. Maybe we're afraid that if we release something, we'll lose protection. I know I've spoken to people who feel that when they are carrying more weight, physical weight, or emotional weight, or energetic weight, or that it feels protecting. It feels safer. Maybe you can hide a little bit. And so just trying to invite this idea that you can still feel safe and have these releases. That's still possible. In fact, in a lot of situations, you might end up feeling safer if you do release. The other thing I know to be true is that you won't change by accident. So you're going to have to be very intentional about these things in order to change. So if you're afraid that you're going to lose part of yourself, I believe that can only happen if you are very intentional about it, because people try very hard to change and they can't. So that if you're really afraid that you might lose your personality or part of yourself or anything like that, it's the process of changing and shifting is incredibly difficult. So it will be an intentional move for you. That's what I suspect. That's my belief about it. Gorgeous. Okay. Feeling really good. So I will now light our candle and set our intention. And if this is something that you're really passionate about, that you're really excited for, please feel free to light a candle here with me and set your own intention. Maybe even set that specific goal or that self-development goal, whatever it is that you want to release. Are you holding on to a burden that you really are starting to realize it's not serving you? What's the weight that you're holding on to? You can also use my flame here to set your own intention using this flame. So on behalf of your highest, wisest, most empowered and aligned self, in loving comfort and perfect balance, I wish to conduct this Reiki session for releasing weight, taking off the weight, any weight, just releasing. If you'd like to set your own intention now based on whatever you're moving through, or clarify this intention, make it personal to you, feel free to use this flame to do so now. And as long as it's in service of your own and everyone else's highest, wisest, most empowered and aligned selves, then we will honor that intention and see it through time and space to where and whenever it's applicable. Beautiful. I'm going to use a little bit of this myrrh incense. Use 2 of them here. We're going to move through. We are lighting them off of our candle to preserve that intention that we've set so that anything we do moving forward is in service of that intention. Good. Good. I'm going to draw the sacred symbols here just by your side. That smells so good. Good. So I'm going to use this pampas grass to move this smoke through your energy body. Good. So I'll speak a little bit about my journey now and the discovery that I made that really shifted things for me. So I decided that I wanted to get a bit healthier and I wanted to be more in my body, But I knew that I wanted to do it in a really sustainable, healthy way, which for me meant really slowly, really slowly. I wanted to do it really slowly, little shifts that could help me, because I think what can often happen is we get really excited when we're making goals. And so we set huge goals, or we set maybe not even about the goals that we set, but more about we set these intentions of what we're going to do, these promises we kind of make to ourselves sometimes when we're feeling really excited and motivated and inspired. And then when those intentions or those plans, they start to wane because they weren't very practicable, then we start to feel shame, we start to feel bad about ourselves, we kind of lose momentum, or we never started having momentum, I guess. We lose motivation to continue. And if something is really, really new for us and really challenging, and we're putting all these things together, these new shifts that we're going to make, sometimes, not always, and for some of us, not everyone, it can start to make us feel bad if we make any hiccups whatsoever and then we give up. So for me, an antidote to that is to be really realistic about what I'm able to do. Really realistic about what I'm able to do with my schedule, with how I function, with how I work, with how I grow and develop and all these things. So for me, it's really about being honest with myself and doing some deep self-inquiry that's not always comfortable, but about like what you can do, what you can shift. So for me, it was just very slow and intentional. And then I'm gonna put this in my pocket for a moment. So then I had a separate experience that actually wasn't separate at all and really impacted what I was going through. So I had a friendship that I'd had for a long time, and with someone who I loved a lot, very, very lovely friendship, with someone who I had known before I was sober. We were close before I became sober. So we've known each other for 15 years, been friends, good friends for a long time. And I started recognizing that it wasn't really reciprocal, the energy. I was putting a lot more into the friendship than the other person. And I was kind of limping the friendship along. And it's difficult because it's really sad to have a friendship breakup. It's really sad. But it was difficult, and it was challenging, and it was hard and really sad. Just realizing that we were so different now. We were just so different, you know. But I think I was very, still attached to that friendship. And I released it. I said what I needed to say, and I released it with as much grace as I could. And then when that happened, it became so easy for me to release so many other things in my life. My weight became, it was just like that, so much easier to release. And I think because I had been holding on to different things that just weren't serving me, that were serving a previous version of me. exhale. So it's like serving a previous version of me for sure, but it wasn't serving me now. And the role that you have to take on, the role that, not have to, but the role I was taking on in certain relationships, and just realizing I've shed that skin. I don't need to do that anymore. And that release has opened up so much for me. So much. So I really encourage you to start looking at places in your life. I'm not encouraging you to have friendship breakups, definitely not. They're painful and really challenging, and it's hard. But just start looking at your life and looking at areas in which you are doing a disservice to yourself, doing a disservice to your favorite self, your best self. And then just see if there are things that you're hooking yourself to, things you're holding on to, that maybe you can just start to let go, let go, let go. And I'm not releasing this friendship forever. I'm open to rekindling. No door is ever closed, I don't think. I'm open to anything, but and there wasn't a big fight, there was nothing. It wasn't a big fight or anything like that. It was just this sort of slow release. And for me, that was so helpful. So if there's aspects that you feel like, oh, this is clenched when we talk about things being held or stuck or tight or tense or blocked, this is what we can start to associate there. What can we start to associate? Is anything coming up for you right now that you're thinking maybe you could release? There's maybe something you could let go of? Feel free to share any of that in the comments. And we'll just be super supportive of each other here, okay? Because it's tough. Release is, it is about loss. And if any of you are moving through grief, and that's coming up for you, just know I'm sending you so much love. And that similarly, it can be part of this process can be about releasing your attachment to that grief so that you can open yourself up to something new. So I'll just give an example to make that more practicable instead of just this idea. When my mom passed, such grief, such anguish. It just felt like such anguish. And during that time, I felt like I was holding on to a version of myself that I was able to kind of release and let go of, and then start to embark on things that I wouldn't have embarked on. Lily Tomlinson, the comedian, she was talking about when her mom passed, and she became this really successful comedian. And she talked about how if her grandmother used to say to her, well, if your mom was still here, she would come and she would be sitting in the front row of all of your gigs. She would be so proud of you. And I think her name is Lily Tomlinson. I might be getting Lily Tomlin and Lily Tomlinson mixed up, but I think that's her name. And she said, if my mom hadn't passed, I don't know that I would have become a successful comedian, because I don't know that I would have had that real urge and fire to be the daughter that she would have been proud of. That's not exactly what she said. It was something along those lines. But just that idea, that feeling was just, that's kind of what that sort of idea of this grief, this loss, and that loss is a release in a way. So how can we, maybe not how can we release the grief, but maybe how can we see that this release is also an opening? I guess that's more what I mean. That this release might have the ability to open you up and allow, even though it's so painful and so difficult. I hope you know what I mean. So we're moving through. I'm just going to stroke your face, sort of like a feather. There we go. Good. Just sort of sweeping this energy. Sweeping anything from your energetic body that's not serving you. Sweeping, 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 sweeping. Good. Okay. I'm going to place a few stones now. The first two stones I'm going to place are this rhodonite and a rose quartz. So as you can probably guess, the foundation of this work, the foundation of this session is love. I really want to encourage you to embark on any of this self-development kind of work from a place of love, and compassion and acceptance of yourself exactly as you are. Love yourself here. I believe that that's incredibly important. I also want to invite in this Kambaba jasper, such an important stone for transformation. It's really supportive during times of transformation. It's a beautiful stone. It's petrified sea algae, so it has all these eyes, and it just has this very fluid kind of energy. Next, I'm going to place this angel light. I want you to speak kind words to yourself. Speak kind words to yourself. Engaging in a self-care and self-loving practice, regularly listening to and speaking affirmations to yourself that lift you, that support you, that hold you. You are beautiful exactly as you are. You are amazing. You are worthy of love and belonging exactly as you are. And anything else that we're doing here, any self-development that we do, that's just extra. But the core and the foundation of who you are beautiful, You are wonderful. You are so worthy. You are so valuable, just as you are. Anything else is just extra. I want to invite in 2 pieces of tourmaline, black tourmaline, for release. Place these anywhere on your physical body and just push all of that energy into these stones. Release anything that is not serving this best, highest, wisest, favorite version of yourself. Just put any of that into these stones. Okay. Next, I want to place this beautiful lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli. And I want to invite this stone in for seeing yourself as beautiful. So we're speaking beautiful words about ourselves. We're sending deep, healing, love, deep healing love, deep healing acceptance. And we're also engaging in deep healing, loving practices for ourselves. Opening ourselves to transformation, releasing what's not serving us. And I want you to really see yourself as beautiful. See yourself as free of this weight, whatever the weight is. See yourself as open to something new. See yourself as allowing something to come in. Where you are right now is beautiful and worthy of so much love. And we can create and imagine and dream what we want for our lives. What we want to call in, what we want to release. So really being able to see ourselves exactly as we want to be, and also seeing how beautiful and wonderful we are right now. The last stone I wanted to bring in is turquoise. This is a raw turquoise. It's a great stone for any of the physical healing stuff that we're doing. So turquoise can be great for any health stuff you're moving through. I would definitely suggest that if you're engaging in any of this kind of physical stuff, we're also just really taking care of our bodies. If you are choosing to lose weight, my intention to share here is that I think it's incredibly important to develop healthy habits. I was always a swimmer growing up. I hadn't been swimming in so long. I started swimming in the lake nearby over the summer, and it felt so alive and free and joyful to me. Love connecting with water. That was really helpful. So then I started swimming more regularly, and swimming has become a huge part of my life again. So I'm so grateful for that, and that connection to something that has brought me so much physical healing. I think swimming is so great for me, it's so great for my joints, for my body, for my muscles, for my bones, for my mental health, everything. So I really love it. And I think inviting in some turquoise to really connect with that deeper sense of why we're doing it can be really helpful for the health aspect, that physical health aspect. But on that note, if you have something that you really don't love to do, I would say keep looking, keep searching. Try to find something that you love to do. Move your body in ways that you love to move your body. I'm going to come through with this fan. Just waft any of this energy that's not serving you. We're just gonna gently waft it away. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good. A little bit of more mist here that I'd like to share with you. This is frankincense and tea tree. Refreshing, spiritually aligned. Just filling up your aura. This release, like I said, it doesn't have to be physical. This is about any kind of release, mental, emotional. And one thing, if you're trying to release anything to do with addiction, this can be a great session for that, just helping you release that. I've been sober now for over 7 years. And when I released that addiction, my life opened up to so many other things. I became vegan. I was able to release other unhealthy habits. I was really able to open myself up to new experiences, kind of start to follow different things I was curious about. So if this is, if you're struggling with an addiction, I will leave a number down below that you can call. And if I don't leave that number, I always leave a lifeline in my description box. But if you would like a number I'll leave some kind of link for you to find local chapters, or you can just Google local chapters for whatever group you need some assistance with. Alcoholics Anonymous, gambling, there's one for gambling, Narcotics Anonymous, Overeaters, sex addiction. So if I don't remember to leave those down below, then either let me know or just you can hit the Google on that. But this would be a great session for that, because releasing can really open us up. And it's the same across the board. When we try to hold on to something that's just not working anymore, it's not serving us, we can start to tighten and we almost become imprisoned by all this clenching, being tethered to so many different things. So that's definitely here as well and supported here as well. So light flows out of my palms and into your body, healing, cleansing, purifying. I'm sending you so much love and light. And please let me know what you are moving through. I love hearing from you. Anything that you're moving through is just makes me feel so connected to you, to be able to listen to what you're going through. Be present for what you're going through. Thank you so much for joining me. It is always such an honor to be able to connect with you here, and I'm sending you heaps of love and support on your journey. Just know that I'm here, sending you love. And if you are looking for a therapist, please check out BetterHelp. I will leave all that down below. Thanks to BetterHelp for partnering with me on this session and being able to create this session for you. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday. So I've slightly shifted my upload times. Now I'm uploading at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So an hour earlier than usual. But every Wednesday and every Sunday, I look forward to hanging out with you here. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or night. Just let this wash over you. This is the kind of session that you just need to process in yourself. So just allow and release. Okay. And just remember you're beautiful and wonderful just as you are. So, all right. Until we meet again, be so well. I love this sound. Anything like this kind of sounds like a kitten to me. Like a kitten purring. And just doing a little bit of balancing and aligning. But how would you suggest that a person achieve the ability to feel that comfortable with people? Not have that fear or apprehension of being disliked or judged by other people. That always happens when I'm trying to do it like up here. And just repeat the mantra. I release. I am relaxed. I am ready to receive. Amethyst is a really great spiritually aligned stone. It can help with clarity, mental fog, really helps us see soberly. So I'd love to know if you're open to sharing. I can